I'd like to turn your attention to something that has been there on my mind for past 1 or 2 weeks, and I've been asking the Lord to show me, what it really means, what this verse really means. So I was looking at James chapter 4. James chapter 4 verse 14. It says, James chapter 4 verse 14, it says, "Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away." Yes, we might be thinking that, we are someone or we are something, we have achieved something, or tomorrow I'll do this, tomorrow I'll do that. In the next 1 year I'll plan like this. In the next 3 years I'll do this. Might be planning so many things, but the Lord reminded me that you are here only for a little while and then you're going to vanish. We are like a vapor. I was thinking, what is this vapor? And then I was observing how the vapor comes out of the water. And if you look at the vapor that comes out of the water, it just begins from the vessel, maybe of boiling water, and then even before it reaches 2 feet distance from the vessel, it completely disappears. It just becomes into thin air and totally disappears. And I was thinking our life is like that in the eyes of the Lord. My life, my whole life, if it's like that, how short a time I have. How short my life is, so short in front of the Lord. And what am I using the time that I have on earth? That was the question that came to me. Okay, Lord, I'm a vapor in your sight. Before I arise from this vessel and disappear into thin air, before my life is over, what am I clinging on to? What am I trying to hold on to? What am I fighting for? What am I living my life for? Those were the questions that came to me. Lord, please show me what you want me to do, Lord. I want to concentrate on those things. I want to hold on to those things. I don't want to hold on to something that is here today and is going to vanish tomorrow. Maybe our human life can last for about 50 to 60 or 70 years, or maximum 80 or 90 years. Whatever the time the Lord has kept for us on this earth, the whole thing is just a vapor in His sight, from here to here. And within that time, the vapor disappears. Dear brothers and sisters, what are we clinging on to? That was the question that came to me again and again. What are we clinging on to? Recently we went as a family to my brother's house for a vacation. And there were so many opportunities for me to hold on to my opinions and my suggestions. There were so many opportunities like that. One simple thing I'll share with you. One morning as we were having breakfast, my brother said, we'll all go and visit one place and come back. We said, we were all very happy. Okay, we're going to go out, we'll go visit a place and come back. It's not a tourist spot or anything, it's just an empty land that they had purchased. So we said, okay, we'll go and come. But then he said, we'll take 2 vehicles. I said, no, we'll take 1 vehicle. And that I could not let go of. That I thought my opinion was right because we'll all be going together, we can spend time together. And I was not willing to let go of that small opinion that we'll take 1 vehicle. That was my opinion, that we'll take 1 vehicle. But he said that we'll take 2 vehicles because then all of us can go comfortably. And for that small thing, I was so stubborn and I was clinging on to that. The Lord asked me, is this going to matter even 10 days from now? The Lord reminded me, you're just a vapor and you're trying to cling on to one small portion of that vapor. The whole vapor, my life is this much. And within that life, I'm trying to cling on to something for myself in that vapor. Just hold on to some small bit of it for myself, and I'm not willing to let it go. I repented. I said, Lord, I'm sorry. I don't want to behave like that. I don't want my opinions and my ideas. I want what you want me to do, Lord. We'll turn to Psalm 39. In Psalm 39, there are lots of verses which remind us of how temporary our life is. And my dear brothers and sisters, I'd like you to go back and read that passage. Read Psalm 39 for yourself. But today, I'll just focus on a few verses there. In Psalm 39, the whole chapter, it keeps repeating again and again, saying how temporary our life is. In verse 4, it says, Lord, make me know my end. That means make me know how temporary I am. And what is the extent of my days? Lord, let me understand what is the extent of my days. Let me know how transient I am. Just like that vapor. We are here for a second, the next second disappears. Just like that vapor, we are so transient, dear brothers and sisters. In verse 5, the end of verse 5, it says, every man at his best is a mere breath. And this is what struck me. My dear brothers and sisters, we might be thinking that we have achieved something. You passed an exam, you've got a job, you've got a promotion, you've achieved something. The Lord reminds us today that every man at his best is a mere breath. And I think that becomes more and more rational for us in these days of the coronavirus, because we see that one day somebody is healthy, the next day they're sick, and they might be even struggling for breath in the hospital. It's become so true. The Lord has shown us that the Lord wants to remind us that every man, whatever you think is your achievement, dear brothers and sisters, even for me, I'm telling from my life, I'm not judging any of you, because recently there was an opportunity to do some higher studies, and I was thinking, oh, it'll be a good thing. And immediately the Lord reminded me that even if you finish that higher studies, remember that you're just a mere breath. You might be here today, might be gone tomorrow. So let's remember that, dear brothers and sisters. Whatever we are clinging on to on this earth, it's just a small bit of that vapor which is on its way to disappear. Do you want to hold on to that this morning? Do you want to hold on to that and live your life for that small bit of that vapor? There's this familiar passage in Luke chapter 12, where it's written about this, the rich man who made wonderful plans for himself, saying that I've prospered this much, now let me build bigger barns. Luke chapter 12 verses 19 and 20. It says that rich man is saying to himself, and I will say to you, my soul, you have many goods laid for many years to come. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Lord said to him, you fool, this very night your soul is required of you. Now who will own what you have prepared? Dear brothers and sisters, if we are holding on to some portion of that vapor, any moment God can demand our life from us. God can take the breath away from us. And then where will that thing which you are holding on to go? It might be a different thing for you. For me, it was my opinion with my brother. But for you, it can be something else that you're holding on to. Where will it go? Just think about it. Even in the past week, myself and my wife, I had some expectation from my wife, but then when she did not fulfill it, that I was so disturbed in my heart, and I was holding on to that. Okay, when will she realize this? When will she do it? The Lord said, are you going to hold on to that small bit of vapor where you can satisfy yourself, and your will and your ambition and your opinion will be important? Is that what you're going to hold on to? So what do we do, brothers? This morning, it is not a word of discouragement. I'm just here to encourage you, just as the Lord has encouraged me, saying that even though our life is just a vapor, it's just going to be from here to here, it's just going to disappear. By the time it disappears, what should we have done? What should we do? That is what the Lord reminded me. And there's this verse in Psalm 8, Psalms 8 verse 4. It says that the Lord is mindful of us. Psalm 8 verse 4. It says, "What is man that you take thought of him, and the son of man that you care for him?" And it came to me like this: Lord, I'm just a vapor. What am I, Lord, that you are mindful of me? What am I that you take care of me? Lord said, by the time this vapor disappears, God's plan for each one of us is that we should become like Christ. Dear brothers and sisters, what a wonderful thing, The Bible tells us that what He did for Jesus, He will do for each one of us. What a wonderful thing to remember, Here it says that He took thought of me, the Lord took thought of me, and He's going to care for me. So if I desire to be transformed like Christ within the time that I disappear from this earth, this verse tells us that the Lord is even more willing. The Lord is even more, He has a greater desire to give you that, to fulfill your desire. And that is what encouraged me, dear brothers and sisters, that Lord, before I leave this earth, I don't want to be holding on to some small bit of that vapor, Lord, from now on. I want to let go of myself. I want your attitudes, your opinions to matter more than any of my calculations of my status or my education or my money that I have or the possessions that I have. Lord, I don't want to have any value for that. These are all going to disappear one day. But the things which will not disappear are the things that the Lord can give us. The things the vapor is talking about, the vapor is only an indication of our flesh, this outer body which is going to disappear. But the soul will remain. The spirit will remain. And that spirit, if we can put our time and energy into building that spirit before it disappears, before the vapor disappears, if we can put our time and energy and our strength into building that spirit, what a wonderful thing it will be, dear brothers and sisters. That will last. I'll just show you this last verse. Let's go back to Luke chapter 12. Not last verse, just one verse more I want to show. Luke chapter 12, it tells us that same passage, verse 21. Luke chapter 12, verse 21, it says, So is the man who stores up treasure for himself. That means if you're holding on to some bit of that vapor, the worldly things, worldly values, which are going to disappear like vapor, if you're holding on to that, so is a man who stores up treasure for himself, who keeps that small bit of vapor for himself. A man is going to be just like this rich man who had to give up his life, who had to give up his breath. The Lord is going to take that away. It's going to go away. But instead, if we are rich towards God, the last part of that verse, it says, if we are rich towards God, that will not happen to us. If we are rich towards God, that's not going to disappear with our vapor. Just one thing I want to share for parents, what the Lord spoke to me as we are bringing up our children. Hebrews chapter 11. Hebrews chapter 11. Here it talks about Moses, verses 24, 25, and 26. It says that by faith Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to endure ill treatment with the people of God than to enjoy the passing pleasures of sin. Considering the reproach of Christ greater riches than the treasures of earth, for he was looking to the reward. So dear brothers and sisters, our children, I know we're all familiar with this story of how long Moses' mother got to keep her, Jochebed. How long she got to keep the child with her till the child was weaned, maybe 5 or 6 years, we don't know. But within that time, she could instill those values within the child, that the child, when he grew up, he said, I don't want to enjoy Pharaoh's palace. I don't want to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. I'd rather suffer with the people, because he knew the values. He knew that this slavery and all that is going to pass away, and then later on the Israelites are going to go into a promised land. Let us take that word for us, dear brothers and sisters. This came to me, as a parent. We are bringing up children, and recently one of our sons, he was so stubborn about one particular thing. I was asking him to do it, and he said, no, I won't do it. And about 1.5 hours I had to struggle with him. I had to punish him, I had to discipline him, I had to do whatever I could. Why? Because I want him, before he disappears as a vapor from this earth, I want him to be living his life for Christ. Not because I want to punish him or I want to be strict with him. No, I want him not to live his life for this vapor, not to hold on to this vapor, the worldly things, to have his own will. I want his will to be broken. Just like, Moses' mother could instill some godly values in that baby in that child before she gave him off to Pharaoh. I want my children also to live such a life. Dear brothers and sisters, I want to conclude with that. Let's remember that our life is just a vapor in the sight of God. Whether you're living 60 or 70 or 80 years, for how much ever years you might be living, man might think, oh, you've lived for so long. But in the sight of the Lord, it's just a vapor. It's just going to disappear. And before that, what do we want to hold on to, dear brothers and sisters? Let us think about that, meditate on that. Ask the Lord to show us, Lord, there is so short a time, Lord, I want to become Christ-like within that time. Please help me. Fill me with your Spirit, Lord. I want to become Christ-like. And for parents, we can pray that for our children also. And we can ask the Lord to show us that, Lord, we have such a short time. At least for man, it is 60 years. But for children, it is within 18 years. They'll be leaving our homes. Before that, can we instill some fear of God in them? Let us take that as a challenge, dear brothers and sisters. Thank God for speaking to me.
Something which we have heard, which is very, very important, very, very significant. We can say that if you look at your life, and if you're honest with yourself, and if you look at your own life, you find that this idol worship called your opinion. I hope you understood what brother was trying to tell us. Such a silly thing, such a silly matter. Whether we should take 2 cars or 1 car. Whether we should take 2 cars or 1 car. It should be this way, it should be done in this way or this way. Your strong opinion. Now I want to say, in your family life, I'm speaking to all of you who are honest with God. You be honest with yourself and be honest with God as we hear this word. Be honest with yourself and be honest with God. Okay, now listen. When you have got a problem in your home, with your wife or with your husband, if you look at it, if you analyze it, if you really look at it, we have to analyze it. We have to analyze. Don't say that it is like that and just leave it. Don't be. I'm not talking to jokers and people who take life lightly. No, I'm not talking to such people. I am talking to people who are serious and who wants to count your life for the Lord. I'm not speaking to jokers. No, I'm not speaking to jokers. I'm speaking to brothers and sisters who want to count your life serious for the Lord. Lord, this is a vapor that I have. This 80 years or 90 years or whatever that I have, or 10 years or 20 years or whatever I have. Dear Lord, this vapor, in that particular vapor, Lord, I want to do your will. I want to find out. That is what it says in the next verse. Think of that in James chapter 4. What does it say? Like a vapor, verse 14. But then it says about verse 15. Lord, in this vapor, I want to do your will. I want to do your will. Okay, let's talk about that one thing. We don't want to talk about other things. Brother was mentioning about the one thing. Your strong opinion. Your strong opinion. Just think of that. Just think of that. That is your idol worship. Your idol called yourself. The self-importance that you have. The self-importance that you have. I said like this and it should be like this. It should be done like this. That is the self-importance that you have, and that is the idol that you have. Today when I got up in the morning, I thank God for the prophetic word in the church. When I got up in the morning, I said, Lord, speak to me, and I was praying, and I said, Lord, speak to me. And the Lord said, you had to still break your idol called self. Your idol called self, your opinion, your suggestion and your opinion. Your opinion and your suggestion. My son, I want you to break that. You have broken it many times, but still you had to break it. There are dregs of that. Your opinion, my opinion should take place in this home. My opinion should take place in the church. My opinion should take place among the brothers, among the sisters, or in a meeting. My opinion. Beloved brothers, are you honest with yourself? Are you honest? Or are you just saying, oh, that's a good word we heard. Oh, very nice word. That is a good word. That's a good thought that John gave. Oh, in the next 100 years, you will not be saved. No, in the next 100 years, you will not be saved. But on the other hand, if you say, Lord, it's a word for me, my opinion, my strong opinion, I believe so. It should be this way. And if someone says no against that, your wife says against that, your brother says against that, or in the church, another brother says, no, brother, it can be done in this way. Is there a disturbance there? Is there a disturbance? Is there a disturbance in your heart because of that? And then that shows that there is an idol worship of self-importance. The name of the idol is not this and A and B and C. The name of that idol, I'll tell you, self-importance. Self-importance, or the idol of self. Are you willing to break that? And then say, Lord, I want to do your will. I think it was Thomas A. Kempis, one of the saintliest people that we Christians have ever heard of. Thomas A. Kempis, brother says, he was a Catholic saint. Just like Madame Guyon and Francis of Assisi, he was also a Catholic saint. And one of the things that I have read in him, one of the statements that has never gone away from me, many of the statements I remember, and one of the statements is this: you are safe when you do the will of the other person. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You are safe. You are safe when you are willing, when you are ready to do the will of another person. You are safe. You are safe. You are safe. Then if something bad happens, God will take care of it. Don't worry about it. But you are safe. You are safe. I am safe when I do the will of another person. Another person. Lord, I'm a vapor. How does it, as brother said, how does it matter whether we take one car or two cars or three cars? How does it matter? 10 years from now, 5 years from now, one month from now, how does it matter? 1 month from now, how does it matter? We take one car or no car at all. We will drop that idea. So what? Nothing is going to happen. But eternity will be lost. Eternity will be lost. You will lose eternity if you do not do God's will. That's the point. But if you do your will, you can still say, at last, I did it. No, that is what the Lord is teaching me the last few years. And I said, Lord, I will not. I will not. I'll break myself and my opinions. Opinions. This is a subject which people don't take it seriously. Yourself, your opinions, your suggestions. It's a part of your self-importance. It's an idol. It's an idol of self. It's a part of your soul. And then if you do your will, our soul has got our soul. That means in Tamil we say Atma. So in our soul we have our will, our emotions, and our intellect. Three things we have. We have these three things. Our thoughts, that means our intellect, our intellectual comprehension, your cognition, your understanding, your memory, everything related to that, your mental faculties, ability to organize, ability to observe, ability to perceive, attend, take decisions, all that. That is your mental faculty called your intellect. Then we have our emotions, our emotional reactions, our feelings, our emotions of anger, lust, joy and depression, discouragement, all that, joy, happiness, all that is part of your emotions. Then we have our will, which is the most important thing. The will is your will. That is your opinion, your strong suggestions, and what you say, no, it should be like this. It should be like this. Okay. And then someone else says, no, brother, why can't we do like this? And then if it disturbs you, you should love the truth, as we have been hearing for the last 2 weeks. Love the truth about yourself. Love the truth about yourself. You have told your wife something to do it and she doesn't do it. And that is your opinion, and her opinion is different, and there's a clash between your opinion and her opinion. And if you are, blessed are you if you can take up the cross and die to your own self. Blessed are you. Blessed are you if you are willing to do God's will that comes from top. And if it crosses your will, that comes like this. If it crosses and then you die and you say, Lord, I'm willing to go down with you. Lord, your cross says, go down, and I'm willing to go down. You're willing to go down. Then you are blessed. Then you are blessed. When you do that way, you are blessed. Beloved brothers and sisters, and we have to do God's will. Remember that it's only a vapor. As I was telling someone, I read recently somewhere that, in our universe, Earth is a tiny little bit, just like a mustard seed. Our Earth is something like a tiny bit in this universe. That is the first heaven that we see. And in this universe, that is all that we see, which we can see with microscope, with a telescope and all types of things. And that is called the universe, which, the scientists, the astronomers are able to see and analyze and say that, okay, one meteorite is coming and people have landed in the moon. These are all part of the universe. And in this universe itself, I read recently that a globe like Earth, 130,000 Earths can be put in this universe. You know that? 130,000 Earths can be put. Globes can be put. Earth, the whole Earth can be put. 130,000 numbers of Earths can be put in this universe. So we know that how small our Earth is. How small our Earth is. And in this Earth, how small this Asia is. And in this Asia, how small India is. Tamil Nadu is. Vellore is. Your Bagayam is. Your Viruthampet is. Your Ranipet is. How small it is. How small it is, and how small you are. And even in that small, your vapor, your breath, your life, how small it is. And then today morning, the Lord spoke to me. You are so small. I said, Lord, I am so small, Lord, I agree. And then the Lord said, you are so small, but your opinions are bigger than the universe. How many of us agree that? Lord, my strong opinions, myself is bigger than the universe. Yourself, I repeat it, yourself, your opinion is bigger than the universe. Our self, our opinion is bigger than the universe. You are very, 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 very small physically. India is very, 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 very small. Tamil Nadu is insignificant. Viruthampet is, you can't see. Bhagam, you can't see. Vellore, you can't see in this universe. That is the first heaven. You know, that is what the heavens which we read in one of the Psalms. That is the heavens which we see. When I look at the heavens, who am I, O Lord, that you should consider me? That is the heavens. All these planets and the earth and the sun and the moon and the planets and the seas and all that. Lord, who am I? David says, who am I? The second heaven we can't see. Second heaven is where the evil forces live. We can't see. And the third heaven is where the Lord lives. And that is not part of the universe. No. That is not part of the universe. The universe is what we see with our telescopes and what the astronomers describe. They can't describe the second heavens. They can't describe the third heaven. No. They have no clues about that. They have no clues about where the devil and the hosts of hell live in the second heavens now. One day they'll be cast into the lake of fire. That is in the future. But now they are roaming around. Sometimes they come down from the second heavens to the earth. And sometimes they go up to meet the Lord. As in the case of Job, as in our case also. But we are so small. The point I want to say is you are so small, but your opinion is bigger than the universe. Beloved brothers and sisters, blessed are you if you humble yourself. Blessed are you if you understand, Lord, I agree, dear Lord, I am big. Lord, myself, my opinion, my suggestions are bigger than the universe. Though myself and the land, the India and the earth is so insignificantly small, it is smaller than the smallest thing that I can imagine, that is called a mustard seed. Lord, it is smaller than that, Lord. Then why should I fight for my opinion? Why should I fight for my opinion? Why should I stand? Do you know why? Because there is an idol called self-importance. An idol called self-importance which we have to break. Understand that, Lord, it is only a vapor. Lord, I fight for an opinion and somebody agrees with you. Once I remember I said that and again said that and again said that. And my wife said, yes, I agree now. I understand. But then the Lord said, now you are in danger. You know that? Now you are in danger. Now you are in danger. If you had died at that time and if you had just given up, then you are safe. Then you are safe. Then I would do it. I would take her. But now that you argued, you spent some time and convinced her and finally she said, okay, we'll do like that. And then the Lord spoke to me. God didn't speak to her. God spoke to me. Now you are in danger, my son. You are in danger. You are in danger of polishing and coloring and painting your self-importance. You are coloring, you are polishing and you are painting this idol called self-importance. Blessed are you. You have ears to hear, let them hear. It's a word which I really thank God with all my heart that this word has come. I hope it has spoken to each person's heart. I hope it has gone to each person's heart. Lord, my opinion is called an idol, just like any other idol name. You have a lot of idols names which we have heard because we are in India. We have got a lot of idols names. We have learned from small days, school days. We have learned. This is another idol, self-importance. Self-importance. Don't say that, okay, we don't worship any of the idols of the heathen. We don't worship any idols. Oh, we have finished with our idolatry. Who's told you, brother? Who told you that? Who told you that? You have not. They are idols. They are honest. They are much more honest because they are idols we can all see. And if you convince them, if you say that, how can they, don't you think, and if you reason out, they will understand it. This, oh, we can't even reason out. What is wrong in that? What I said is right? No. And we start arguing. What is the problem? What is the problem in the church? Or what is the problem in the meetings? Or what is the problem in the home? Why? And that is the reason, finally, brother said about children. Yeah, we don't have time for that. But what was he trying to say? Teach them. Teach them one thing, that you have to die to your own self-will, your importance, self-importance. Learn to die to that. If you have taught your son, your daughter that one lesson, you have taught, even if they fail in the plus two. I repeat it. Even if they fail in the plus two, it doesn't matter. But if you have taught them this one lesson, that you have to die to your own self-will and self-importance. And then they will grow up. It will be easy for God. It will be very easy for God to mold them and train them. Beloved brothers and sisters, blessed are you. Blessed are the years that you have heard these things. Blessed are you. When I was your age, I could not hear these things and I could not learn these things. Beloved brothers and beloved sisters, if you can listen to this and humble yourself, please unmute yourself and thank God for what you have heard. Lord, I want to surrender myself, Lord. I don't want to have this self-importance. I want to break myself. Help me. Because it's a vapor. May the Lord help us. Please unmute and pray.